This is the only thing I want you to focus on, and you will rank up, I almost guarantee it. Dog usage list. Defense. When do you use your dog? Number 1, first and foremost, retakes. Self-explanatory. I don't really need to go into that. Number 2, early information if flash can't reach or otherwise can't do it for you. Number 3, mid-round info. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this. If flash can't reach or otherwise do it for you. Attack. Get your duelists posted up into otherwise hard to clear areas. Clearing corners on a site hit, aka ascent B, ascent A, literally where on split, etc. Post plant. If you do not use your dog for the site hit, and the only time where you shouldn't be using your dog for the site hit is if you have another piece of utility that did it for you. Sova dart, Sova drone, Sova's literal existence, etc. Post plant. If you are smoked off or otherwise unable to see the spike and they are diffusing, use the dog to stop, defuse, or gather info for a mini-map rag for your team. This is how you use your dog. Fix this and I guarantee you'll rank up. Have you ever wanted to see this? But instead, you're just stuck looking at this. Hi, my name is Berate. I'm a Radiant coach, and if you want to get coached absolutely free of charge, join my Discord server, read the VOD submission rules, submit a VOD for me to review, and I will get to it as soon as I can and turn it into a video giving you detailed notes along the way. Enjoy the video. So there's something you have to keep in mind when you're flanking against a Cypher is, I said this in a previous VOD review that I did, but it wasn't completely accurate, and like I got called out massively for this take that I had, that you just shouldn't flank against a Cypher. I'm gonna still say that statement is valid, but I'm going to have like a minor change to that statement. And that minor change being, it's okay to flank against a Cypher if you have multiple people or if you have numbers advantage. And the reason for that is exactly what happened in this round. Because the second I saw the Cypher trip, the second you see a Cypher trip or any piece of utility that's going to give them like hard information on where you are, because at this point they don't know that you're flanking them, but the second you break this trip, they know that you're flanking them. You have two decisions here. You either don't break the trip and you go and you route with your team, which would have been the correct decision here, or 2, you break the trip, you alert all the people who are still stuck in B main. Mind you, only Omen is out at this point, so it's very reasonable to assume that at least 2 people are still stuck in B main. They're smoked off, so it's very reasonable to assume that there's 2 people stuck in B main right now. And the second that you break the trip here, all the people right here are going to be immediately alerted to your position, and you're going to be at a massively disadvantageous fight. Now, even because I noticed later here, you break the trip, right? And boom, you use utility here, but this isn't enough to override the colossal disadvantage that you're at, because right now everyone who's in main knows exactly where you are, and these people here, their like danger meters are going to be going off. They're going to completely forget about everyone else on site, and they're going to immediately start just going and witch hunting you. So this is why whenever you're flanking against a Cypher or a Killjoy or any character that gives them hard information on flank, you always want to have at least one other person with you. The reason for that is they're going to know where you are, and if you're just one person, you're going to be at a colossal disadvantage. But if you have multiple people, then the fight becomes even, and then it's more favorable for you, because there is a massive threat coming in this way, and then there's the massive threat coming in this way for your teammates, and then you can set up a pinch play. Should I make someone on site push through smoke? Yeah. If you have multiple people here, or you're otherwise causing a distraction, then it's very good to set up a pinch play and to have your teammates just flood into main. But in this a particular scenario, I would have either called for the person who was flanking to come back and double up with you so that you could be like 2-on-2, 2-on-2, or I would have just broken the trip and left, because then it gives them false information. Or I would have broken the trip and just stayed here and caused a distraction, because I said this in my lurking guide, but if they're looking at you, they're not looking at your team, and it's going to split up like their defensive holding, and it's basically going to split up their power, right? Right, so right now, yeah. I don't think I need to explain that further, but you just committing to the fight here, even with the amount of utility that you used, is just you asking to get ganged up on, and now they know, oh diddly darn, flank is completely open right now, we have a free rotate. So at this point in the round, you've actually hurt your team more than helping it by this flank. Now, flanking is good. I love abusing the flank, especially in solo queue, but you have to be really careful when this goober's on the enemy team. Now, I'm not saying flank is completely off the table, but you have to play it very, very methodically, and your timing has to be perfect. But then there's the even larger issue of why are you flanking on a flash initiator? Because when you're playing flash initiator, your job is to initiate retakes for your team. And when you're flank, you can't really initiate retakes for your team. So the flank was a bad idea in the first place because you're playing a flash initiator and they need your utility for that retake. And last I checked, you had a lot of utility still in your kit when you died that could have been used to help retake a site. So the way that you went about the flank was bad, and also the fact that you flanked in the first place was also bad. The only time where it's a good idea to flank is if you're setting up someone else to flank. Should I make Raze flank instead? Yeah, that would have been better. Or if Raze was already flanking and you know Raze is going to be in danger, because remember the rule, if you're up against a Cypher or anyone that gives you hard information, you need numbers advantage. So at that point, I would have actually doubled up with the Raze and gone with the Raze, because at that point, you are initiating for the Raze. You're using your utility to help the Raze. At this point, you're only initiating for yourself. And playing selfishly like this is the reason why you got picked off, and the reason why they now have a free rotate over to A. And if I skip ahead in this round, you win, but if they would have rotated, you most likely would have lost the round. Because when they kill the flanker, it's very reasonable to assume that flank is clear and that they have a free rotate through spawn. Stop. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe. Thanks.
Yeah, pushing. Great people.
Yeah, that dog was a little bit unnecessary. So that makes my brain... You're a chambermaid, so it makes your brain wrong for flash initiator? Yeah. But like with the amount of Skye games that you've been playing recently, that I saw from your tracker, this is something you definitely have to get in your head if you want to play flash initiator. Yeah, because when you are playing an initiator, especially Skye, your job is to basically play get down Mr. President with the rest of your team. You're setting up your duelist for aggressive plays. You're babysitting your duelist when they run it down and throw the round, and you're keeping your controllers alive, and you're keeping your team healthy with the heals. That's your job as Skye. Now, there are a lot of very aggressive Skye players out there, but the thing with those Skye players is their mechanics are absolutely phenomenal, so they don't need to help their team. They can use their utility selfishly, because their mechanics are just at such a high level that they could pretty much do anything they wanted on any character and they would be good. Yeah, a perfect example of this is how Flexinja plays Omen. By all means, Flexinja is playing Omen incorrectly. He's playing Omen like he's a secondary duelist, when he's not. He's a controller. But the reason that it works so well for people like Flexinja, Dr. Freeze, and other high-ranking aggressive Radiant Omen mains is because their mechanics, their raw mechanical skill, covers up for any like quote-unquote wrong things in the playstyle. And we watch those people and we're like, oh, bet I can do that. But then when you get into a game and you try to do it, you just end up losing, and then people get confused. So until you get really high level mechanics, you want to be playing the game correctly. So that once you get into higher lobbies and then once you get those high level mechanics, then you can start having fun and playing Skye like a duelist. But right now, you basically need to be playing Get Down Mr. President with your team. And you're pretty much a babysitter when you're playing Skye. You're pretty much a babysitter for your team. Like you have to keep your duelists alive and you have to keep your smokes alive. But anyways, back to this dog here. The dog that you used here was a little bit unnecessary, because I assume here you're using the dog for the stun, right?
There you go.
Like you're trying to use the dog as a stun here and not really as an information piece. That is wrong, and the reason for that is you want to be using your information utility for information. A perfect example of it is the Skye dog, right? At this point, you know that they're barreling down A main, and you don't need your dog to tell you that they're barreling down A main. You can hear the footsteps. So if you wanted to set up your team for a push, then I would have flashed, because then you're giving your teammates a direct advantage in the gunfight. Here, the dog is kind of a waste, because you're using information utility to confirm something that you already know. You want to be using your informational utility. This is Skye dog, Sova drone, Sova dart, etc. Not to confirm what you already know, but to get rid of the question marks. So say, so I don't know how this round plays out, but imagine they take site, you're forced back to CT, they smoke you off and you have no information on site. You're gonna wish you had that dog to clear out all the corners and gain that information on the retake. And you're gonna wish that you hadn't wasted it just to get a couple stuns that at the end of the day your teammates don't actually capitalize off of. Problem you have with flash is you flash teammates at this angle? Yeah, probably. So at that point you would say, Ayo, I'm flashing play anti. As simple as that. Use your microphone. Now on chess.com is lessons we get put in a situation you have to pick the best move. They should do that with Valorant. Actually, well, there's a way to do that. There's a way to do that. If you go to guess the rank, like something I do for practice is I go guess the rank, and oftentimes in guess the rank there's clutches, and what I would do is I would watch like the start of the round or something, boom, and then I'd be like, okay, how would I play this out? And then if it's on guess the rank, then you know for a fact that the outcome had to have been good, aka the correct option. So you would see how what actually happened lined up with what you said. So that's what I would do if you want to practice that.
Pushing.
Rank duel, yeah. Rank duel, guess the rank, all those. But yeah, it was not the dog was too early. It was just the whole dog was a massive waste. I hope you don't dog here. I hope you don't. I knew it. You're gonna dog. See, again. This is another example of you using your information utility to confirm what you already know. If one, your Skye flash tagged someone bot mid. 2, they smoked off top mid. 3, there was a KO knife. 4, you hear like 30,000 footsteps. Because imagine if you had this dog for retake, because at this point you already know that they're mid. You don't need your dog to tell you that. Like you don't need your dog to tell you that they're mid. You could have made the multiple mid call out without actually using that dog. And now, not only do you not have that dog for retake, which is going to be infinitely useful, especially if you're stuck on a retake on Sunset of all things where there's so many corners. I think I was thinking they're going market towards me. That was your mindset. If they're going towards market, they run into the Cypher trip. And if they're going towards you, you hold the smoke and you shoot them. It doesn't really matter if you know where they're going, because everything is already accounted for. So if at this point in the round you were genuinely suspicious that this was a problem, where they could be either going market or they could be going towards you, just look at your map. Cypher trip is right here and it's smoked off. And there's teammates in market as well. Market is on lock. If they go market, you're fine. If they push through the smoke top mid, you just sit in an off angle right here and you hold the smoke. And if you miss your shot, then you just back up to spawn. So at this point, you had absolutely nothing to worry about. And I get the thought process there, but if that's really what you thought, then that also just comes down to minimap awareness. Because you would have seen that market was absolutely on lock if that was really the case. Yeah, this is a massive problem, and this is the one thing I'm going to tell you. Do not use your dog for anything other than information. When I was first learning Raze, right? Now, I've made it abundantly clear over my whole time on YouTube and streaming that I am not a good flash initiator player. I haven't really touched the role, but I've studied up on it. But a similar experience that I've had is when I was first learning Raze. I just couldn't figure out what to use the gosh darn boombot for. And I would just use it as a flash pretty much. I would throw it out of an angle and then I would swing off of it. But that's not what you want to be doing with the boombot. That's not what its intended purpose. The intended purpose of the boombot is to give you information. And that is what you want to be using your Skye dog for, because the intended purpose is information. And that's probably what I'm going to title this video. The one mistake all Skye players make is the use of the hecking dog. I don't know what it is with Skye players, but all of them are addicted to using the dog for a stun and nothing more. Skye's dog is the best part of Skye's kit as of right now. I mean, minus the ultimate, obviously. The ultimate's always obviously going to be better. But Skye's dog is the most important part of Skye's kit because it gives you just so much information. And if you look back at all the times that they've nerfed Skye, the majority of the nerfs are to the dog. Well, the flashes as well. The flashes have gotten absolutely nerfed to the ground. But the dog has taken the brunt of quite a bit of nerfs. What do I think about the Skye nerfs? I think they're very warranted. Skye was for the longest time the best initiator in the game, period. And if you knew what you were doing on Skye, there was pretty much no counter to it, in pro play in particular, because Skye is just a constant source of information. So since they made it so that the flashes can't regen and you can't fake flash anymore, you don't have that constant stream of information, but the amount of information that you get from Skye regardless is still very, very strong. And in this VOD, you're very, very underutilizing that. So you need to use your dog for information only. That's it. Use your flashes to set you and your teammates up for gunfights. That's fine. That's what the flashes are made for. But if you're gathering information, use the dog. What value did you get out of that flash? Yeah, if you're playing Initiator and you want to set up your team for stuff, you need to talk to them. This team is talking, right? This team is listening. This team, obviously has comms. You need to be saying, "Ayo, Raze, I'm flashing out of the smoke. Swing off it." You can't really expect your teammates to... Because right now, this is what this Raze is thinking. I'm going to tell you exactly what your Raze is thinking right now. From round start to end start. Okay, I'm just going to beat this. Looking at your Raze. Okay? I'm going to sit in this corner. I hear them going B. My Skye forgot to close market. What the heck is he doing? I'm focusing on my crosshair placement. My crosshair is on the wall. I'm playing off of noise. Why did my Skye dog mid? What is he doing? Oh, I just got breach ulted. That's not good. I'm stunned right now. Oh, crap. Why did the Skye flash? I can't swing off of that. Oh, thank God I killed this Omen. Okay, I'm running. I'm out of here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Please save me. Oh, Cypher, please save me. At no point in this round is he going to be thinking, oh, diddly darn, my Skye just flashed out of a smoke. I better swing off that. At no point in this round is this Raze thinking, I should really swing off of this random flash my Skye just threw for me. That is a good use of my time. This Raze just got the kitchen sink thrown at him by the enemy breach. You need to communicate this stuff, man. So at this point, I would be using my dog to get my Reyna into elbow. And you dry swing it. I'm about to lose my mind. I'm about to get... Okay. Sunset A site when you're attacking is very, very unique. Getting onto site is the easy part. Clearing out elbow is the difficult part. Elbow is the reason why A site hits fail. Because for all you guys know, there could be a man in elbow right now ready to shoot you in the back while you're planting. You need to, especially if you're playing Initiator, you need to get your team into elbow. Like, that's kind of your job. Your job is to get your duelist into elbow. I'm going to give you the dog checklist. Like, I'm gonna find like where you put your VOD. This is quite literally the only thing that I want you to focus on.
Hey you, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure to subscribe to Berate, or I will take your Valorant elo.